I'm not sure if you can see my screen at the moment.
Huh?
Hey, let's just see.
No. Oh,
Can you see my screen? Yeah, cool. All right. I don't know what this is. I don't know why they're doing this.
you know what?
I think they're recording this. But
Oh,
it's also
no.
great because the kids still have concern.
Yeah. I'm gonna check the emails right now. See you. I'm gonna shower real quick and check the emails.
Sure.
Okay, hello?
All right. I think you can see my screen.
No.
All right.
Oh,
there we go. Something's happening here.
Yeah, okay, I see your screen.
All right. Yeah, so there is a feature that I would just switch. Oh, it doesn't let me do anything at the moment. I don't know why. Oh, because it's converting the video. Yeah, so I would recommend just switching that stop loss feature off.
Oh, okay. Okay, but wouldn't that hurt the account? Because because I was told because it was at 1,000 at first, but the V5 was at 1,000, and somebody told me to increase it to 2,000. The reason why I asked about the SL was because in the beginning, the SL was closing my trades too fast. It would say one thing on the when it's running, but would do another thing when it's closed. So you will open your position and the SL is automatically put there. It says maybe 1785 or 1725, and your position is maybe like 1775. So by the time your position of 1775 closed, it's because the SL hit 1776. But when you checked, you saw that you thought that they input 1725. So why am I being close so close to my entry? So that one made me open my SL and increase it from 1,000 to 2,000. So when that spike happened, I don't know. I just was just kind of like, what
Maybe
exactly happened?
it
You
could have
know?
been changing the settings mid of that cycle. So as it's still
Yeah.
in those trades, maybe it just didn't update.
Mhm.
Just reading another, my account went from 3.5% negative in that move, but I was stopped at 3.5 equity. And then it went 10 pips more. Yeah, I totally get what you mean. I think it's been proven to be a bit of an issue. So
Right.
settings, you can just switch it off. Today, I am actually going to compare like for like version 5 and the new version also that's just been sent out. But from actually looking at first glance, it's actually this feature. The thing is, some prop firms, you need a stop loss. And that's why it's nice
Yes,
to
of
have
course.
that stop loss feature, because it places these stop losses. And that's the benefit of version 5. But I want to actually compare both versions against each other today and see what conclusion I can get into to try and see, because version 5 is great. But now,
I keep hearing that, but I'm, you
Yeah.
know, since what happened that day, I'm kind of scared to touch V5, you know, without getting the proper guidance. And I mean, people are saying that, like you, saying that it's very good, it's very good, it's very good. But then there's some people that are saying they're having issues as well. But I mean, I guess it's just normal, you know. But
Yeah,
um,
there is a lot of settings out there, and I think maybe there needs to be a basic basic core, maybe just
Yeah.
one EA where it's got just the basics that can actually just be suffice to just get the job done.
right,
And there are
Yeah,
a
like-
few advanced features in there as well.
right.
Let's just load. I think it's this one here. Yeah, so this is version 4. And I don't think it has.
Yeah, it doesn't
Pulse.
have, but crazy enough, it knows what to do.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I watched it yesterday as it I tested it with the spike that happened with gold yesterday when it went down. I think I even posted it in a group that I said this is amazing. Like the way this thing can handle these spikes, you know. It was just a sight to see the way it opened the positions, the way it closed, you know, because
Yeah.
I like tech, you know, I like watching things progress. So, you know, I was extremely amazed. I said, wow, you know, I
It's a great
literally
tool.
was able to use V4 before and go to sleep and come back and turn it off. I passed 2 challenges with it, you know, and I had
Nice.
no issues with it.
Yeah.
I never had any issues. But hey, like you said, technology changes. We got to keep adding, got to keep improving. So I don't have no issues with the SL added. A lot of bots out there don't have SL. So for this bot to have SL, you know, it's great, but it's still new in the industry. So it's gonna take some time to kind of get it right.
Yeah. There is, I'm going to actually just put a video content out there on settings, and then also just a manual, but a lot of these we can actually turn off, you know, and if you're keeping just to the key points, it's your start lot, your multiplier, your max lot. Those are the key points. So for example, everything else, so your fixed lot, you're going to want to use,
Alright.
and that's going to activate this one. If you switch to percent, that's going to activate this percentage feature, and it's not going to use the fixed lot. So just use fixed lot. So it doesn't really matter what this value is. Take profit in pips. You know, this is what we're going to use. If we're using my Forex funds, you can reduce this to like to 95 because of the slippage and the price feed is not that great. So it just means, you know, you're going to take your profit quicker, just because their price feed is not as good as FTMO. Then your step size. So, you know, again, I would recommend this leaving to 100. I mean, if you want to, you can put 110. So you get that extra distance in between the spacings. You've got your multiplier in here, which also we need. The step lot, I'm actually not sure that is, so I just leave it as 4. Your max lot, again, you add that according to your balance and your start lot. This I leave as is. Enable grid. This is going to, my tip with enable grid is if you put this on true and you have a good cushion of equity in there, and you put this on true, just reduce your start lot to half, because this is going to open the grid dual sides. So I just keep that to false. Sometimes when I want to be aggressive during the Asian session, I switch this to true. Filter
What
one.
exactly is a grid dual side? Does that mean that it will open both buy and sell
Yeah,
positions?
so it's going to open buy and sell. So it's great. It's a really great tool, because what's happening is this. Let me just try and map this out. So what happens is this: as price goes up, it's selling right?
Right.
Right? It's selling.
Right.
Now, if you enable dual grid, as it's selling,
It
it's
will open a
also
buy.
buying and taking. So you're
Yes.
whatever way the market goes, you're making money. You're accumulating drawdown on the way up, right? Because you're accumulating drawdown because you're entering sells. And as you're going up every 100 pips, you're also taking profit. And this works great in range markets because you are completely destroying the market in a range because it's going up, it's accumulating, and those open orders are being closed on the way down. So this is a really useful feature when you see a range market. You do have to be in front of the computer and this trade station just to stop any breakouts. And that is a really, really useful feature. I advise just keep to false. Once you get a little bit more confident, set to true, do 1 to 2 hours, you'll be set for the day.
I'm sorry, I have a lot of questions.
That's all right.
So the enabled grid dual side, does it come true by default and you have to go inside to make it false?
Default, it's false, but this is on
Default.
version 5. Let me see. Oh, version 4. So it's, let's just reset and have a look what
Okay.
default is.
Okay.
All right. By default, it's false.
By default is false.
Yeah.
Okay. And false meaning that it's gonna open two sides? No, or just only
Just
one side?
one side.
Oh, so you have to go in and change it to true.
So you've got to go
There
in,
we go.
double click,
That's it.
and it's a great tool. Don't get me wrong, but you are
Yeah.
doubling your risk. You are buying and selling at the same time.
Yes.
So you just need to be able to understand. It's about understanding what the market condition is and to adjust the settings accordingly.
Mm-hmm.
Then, for example, filter one order by candle. This is great because I've used this before. So if you set this to true, I've used a 5-minute time frame. So what it's doing is it's only opening the order once the 5-minute candle has closed, and only once it's made a 100 pip move, the step distance. Personally, just keep it off. I've tried it. You're better off just to keep it off. I mean, you could do this and say once the 1-minute close candle is done, then it opens up a position. Personally, through my testing in the live condition, just keep it false. Minimal profit close. This is what I think is causing most of the issues, is just switch off. Keep this off. Because what you can say here is minimal profit close. You can say true. And you can say, right, I only want to make a minimum of $5 before you even close the EA. And so I would just keep it off completely.
So you're saying to keep it off completely.
Yeah. Just don't use
during the live
minimal,
session.
Yeah, minimal profit close. Keep that closed. And that will resolve all that. Then you have config, hedge after level. I've not tried that out. Just keep that as it is. I've used the daily target. So my daily target is like 200 on a 10K account. Usually I buy $150 I'm out. So my daily target, I set that in. But I'm usually on the screen anyway, so I just manually close. Moving averages.
So
Yep.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
I'm so sorry. And everybody else is so sorry. Like, oh, this lady. I'm so sorry.
That's all right.
I just want to really understand what I'm clicking, because it can mean a difference between getting funded a 200K account or getting blown a 10K account. So now the daily target and money, is the bot going to automatically close once it reaches $200?
Yes. So
Okay.
version 5 does it, but
Uh-huh.
this latest version, I'm not sure if it does it because I was using the previous version 4 that everybody likes, and this didn't
Right.
work. But version 5 does work. Now, this new version probably does work. Now, there is another tool that you can use where it will close your daily target. The Sentry or whatever everybody calls it. There is a tool that we can look into also that does this for you, but that's pretty handy.
Yeah.
Someone actually made a good comment. My Forex funds actually says it doesn't allow hedging. Exactly. So in terms, you might actually get kicked. Exactly. So when you go to the dual side, as my Forex funds doesn't allow hedging, you should keep this false if you're using my Forex funds. Because you're not allowed to hedge one against the other. Moving average, leave this as it is. Also the high-low, trailing stop. I've actually got mine to true. Desktop core, let's put 1K real. Yeah, I've actually got my trailing stop to true, and I've just used the default settings and the break even. If you watch that live, that's quite cool how these work. Now the take equity stop, filter caution of equity, and filter equity stop. I would advise using one of the three and probably not all of them. Oh, I think I lost everyone.
No, I'm still here. I'm still here.
Cool.
I'm still here.
All right, cool. I thought I lost connection there.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if you know the difference. I'll go over them if you don't.
Nope. I don't
Right,
know the
so
difference at all.
The take equity stop, it's the amount of floating dollar drawdown. So if this is hit, the orders are closed. So if we set this to true, and we say the maximum dollar drawdown I have for the day is like 5% or whatever it is. So let's just say $3,000.
Right.
Once $3,000 is hit, it will close the EA completely. It will close the orders. But just be careful because I haven't tried it. And I think I saw some comments where they're saying that the EA still tries to continue running, even though this is set to true. So it's closing the trades, but then it's reactivating.
I see. I see. I've heard people using something called Guardian.
Cool. Yeah, that's useful.
Yeah.
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 So I just set this to false. Max filter spread. I know it's like 2,400, but I keep mine to 12. I want to be in, I don't want any slippage on the execution of my trades. If there's slippage, that's going to come out of my pocket. So I want to make sure when I'm executing the trades, there is a tight spread. So that's why I keep to 12. If the spread goes beyond 12, it means that there's volatility or there's a news event and the EA is not going to enter during those high levels of spreads. That's why I set mine to 12. Filter equity caution is going to stop opening additional orders once the drawdown is hit. So this is going to stop opening additional orders. So if we set that to true, and we say, right, I'm only risking 3.5% today, you can send the values, same 3.6 for FTMO. It's going to keep those trades open, and it will not open any more trades. And that will enable you to be able to get out of the drawdown. So you can say, right, I'm going to put to 3%. It's going to go into drawdown. Once in 3%, it's not going to open any more additional trades, and it's got the chance to either put buy or sell limits to try and get out of that drawdown. Again, I don't use that filter, the feature. I use the filter equity stop. And like on the live account, I give it a little bit of room and I say 2.5. I don't need to send alerts. And this is going to close out all the trades completely. And so that's for me, that's more of what I use. I find that really useful. Every trade is spread is too great. Won't place at that time. So if the spread is above 12, it's not going to open the trade using the max spread filter. So we notice when there's volatility in the market, the spread is increasing. And so I'm using that to my advantage so that the EA is not entering. It's buying me time to rectify the problem by looking at the charts. So you can see now, look, it's eight pips. And on average, I've seen from 8 to 12, you know, and that's where I want to be in the more normal market conditions.
So only open a position when it's 12 pips?
Below
as the
12 pips.
Below 12
Yeah.
pips, okay.
And
But once
that's
it's above 12 pips, it does not open.
opening. So through that,
good.
imagine you have a spike and it moves 100 pips. It's not going to place a trade because the spread's all of a sudden at 13, 14, 15. During news events, you can get even to up to 18. But I like to get into 5 pip trades, you know, anything below 10, you know, anything below 10, that's the business I want to be in. The issue is during the Asian session, if you're using my Forex funds, their spreads are ridiculous. So you might have to increase that to 13 or possibly 14. But I know my broker, they have very tight spreads. I can set this to 10, and during the Asian session, I can still get very low slippage, and executions are very tight. You know, and this is why we have so many settings, because every broker is different, every person is different, every person's trade plan is different. And it can be a bit overwhelming. Correct, yeah, I'm using raw spread IC markets. But they're going to make up for that probably in the commissions. You know, they're going to have to make some money somewhere. But I'm happy with that because I'm taking advantage of other aspects. The news filter, again, you can use. I don't, because I'm every morning, as soon as I open my Firefox, it automatically loads. The first page is not Google, it's the news calendar. And that's just something I do. As soon as I open my laptop and I open up Explorer or Firefox, it goes straight to the news calendar. And that's my way to check the news daily and at night. So I check at night for the next day, and I check in the morning for the following day. So for the news, I'm not really using. Also with the time intervals, I'm not using. This is following your broker market watch. So you might see that at the top, I think it's incorrect time. It's actually following the market watch. So my broker is GMT +2 because it runs off, I think it's Israel time. So it's GMT +2. So I'll follow the market watch and just adjust accordingly. And then the rest, to be honest, don't really get involved. This can almost be hidden, but it's there just to show the entry and exit points. But that's it, you know. I know it seems like a lot, but it's finding the settings that you need to use. Don't know if anybody else has any more questions. Let's just have a look.
Oh, sorry, I thought I was unmuted.
Some
So are somebody said what's for dinner?
Not yet.
Right?
It's early for me. I should start planning
Yeah.
dinner.
So you said you're gonna be testing the V4 or is it just the V5 you're gonna be testing?
Yeah, so the plan is this. So I want to see version 5, where
Okay.
everybody's had issues. On the left-hand side, it's here. And then this is the latest version that's been updated. That's just been given out. So I want to see what the core differences are in terms of what's going to happen between both of them with the same settings. I just want to make sure, first of all, I want to try and replicate the same problem that everybody had, because I haven't come across it, but I know that there's been a few people that have had that issue. So I want to replicate that problem and then just see if it does happen on the latest version that's been released.
So this one that you circled, the Proform V4, is it a V5 or it's a V4?
V4. So this is the one that just been sent out yesterday.
Oh.
Mom,
Learning to be a day trader.
Yeah, you got to start early, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you're saying that this is the V4 and this one is the V5. So you're going to be testing them side by side to see
Yeah.
how they'll react. Okay.
I want to emulate the issue that we had this week, and just see how that goes. Was it? I don't like how you can't see the lots behind the panel. Yes, what I do is I open up a new chart. So what I do is I just come into gold, open up another chart, and then I have it clean. And then that's how I go about it. And then I can see everything that's going on. So
what's your thoughts on Guardian?
I haven't actually used it. There is a tool. I don't even have it here. There was another tool that someone sent in the group that helps you equity protection. I'm not sure if it is Guardian. And it was an equity protection, and you can set your daily drawdown limit. You can set your all sorts of settings on there. But my advice is do whatever you need to do to protect your capital.
Man, I wish I would have gotten that yesterday, 2 days ago.
Yeah, it's the thing is, it's about sustainability in this game.
Yeah.
If you need to put as much effort if not more, into your trade plan, because that's what's going to help you be consistent over the longer period of time. You know, for example, like I keep saying, like, I know my daily target and I know my max loss. My max loss is 2%. My daily target is 150 to 200. My starting lot is 0.2. My multi is 1.25. My max lot is 0.30. At 6 open positions, I know I'm only going to be in $40 drawdown, and my take profit is only going to be 30 pips until I hit my take profit. And at 6 open positions, my hard stop is only 500 pips away, which is going to be 2% of the account. So straight away, I know what to do when I'm in a tricky situation. And having that plan up front is going to help you, because then you know when to exit and you know already what an acceptable loss is going to look like. And so when that does happen, like this week, yeah, we hit stop loss. That's part of the game.
Yeah.
It's having that embedded in your mind. You know, you're trading Asian to London at what time? I know my 8 p.m. to London 10 a.m. I'm done. I know I'm trading Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday 2 hours before New York Open. I know if there's a red folder, I'm not going to touch a market. If there's an Australian news, AUD news, red folder, even if it's not FOMC or, I'm not going to touch the market. I have as many rules as possible to pre-plan an advanced attack to protect my capital. The EA is just doing the work, but I'm protecting and setting the plan for the EA. And this is what I'm trying to get everybody head around and not going so crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it does hurt because, I was expecting something by Monday for this particular prop firm, but, hey, it's something you just have to charge it to the game. I just, I don't know, like it was just kind of
Yeah,
weird,
and this is the thing, right? When you have, from my experience, when you have a predetermined expectations of a loss, it will not hurt anymore. You have to take emotions out of it. You really have to take emotions out of it, because it's going to make that process easier.
Yeah.
And we have to take a loss some days. We're not always going to be phenomenal at our jobs every day. And once you stop becoming so emotional and have these clear guides. I was showing someone earlier this morning. He's based in Australia, and I had the EA open. And I said, look, I've made $360. I'm in $200 drawdown. I already have a pre-planned attack for my exit if it drops, and I have my pre-planned attack if it goes up. Luckily, what happened is price went back in and my drawdown dropped to about $50. I said to him, this is my close time. I closed that $50 loss, and I said, I've made $360. With the loss, I'm happy with a $300 because my expectation was to make 200. I've made an extra 100. I'm up way beyond on my week already. I'm closing. And he's like, well, what if it goes up? I said, my business is not to predict the price. My business is not to predict where, if, what, how, whatever. It's about my balance and where we are now.
Right.
I closed.
Right.
And what happened shortly after? Price continued to drop. He goes, oh, if it was him, he said, oh, I would have stayed in it. I said, yes, because you have the expectation of what ifs. For me, I look at the hardcore facts. I know my expectation for a loss will be the loss for that day would have been $300. So I would have broke even for the day. I would have made like $10 or something. So why not just get out now with a $30 loss and make an extra $200? It's not about predicting where price can or cannot go. It's about protecting the capital. And it's about having those trade plans in place, you know, and understanding and reacting to them. And what would you have done differently in the yesterday or the day before or Tuesday's drop? And, you know, those are just the ways I look at it. I lost a 100K funded account due to emotions, but we'll pass 2 more funded accounts by next week. 100% emotion kills you. And best tip, you know, sort out emotions, get them aside, put everything down on paper, follow the plan. Cut your losses when you know it's time to cut the losses that so you adhere to your trade plan, and cut your losses when you've made sufficient for the day. It's about being sustainable over a period of time. No trading gold with AUD. AUD is one of the biggest exporters of gold, one of the 3rd biggest exporters of gold. So it has a correlation to the price fluctuation of gold. I think Canadian dollar also has a price fluctuation of gold, but I follow to AUD, and especially when we're trading the Asian session, if there's a red folder during the Asian session for AUD currency, I will not be trading that because it will be mucking around with my Asian session trading. And that's why I look at gold with the AUD red folder news. Yes, I know that we've seen many people say that, oh, I should look at FOMC and the jobs and all that. They mainly affect the New York session. When you see FOMC, unless it's during the Asian session, which usually not, unless it's interest rates during the Asian session, like the RBA during the Asian session, that's going to make a serious effect on gold. So keep an eye out also on AUD red folders. They will affect gold, especially during the Asian session when we trade that time. And then my meeting is going to end in 10 minutes, or probably not even that. So I think we'll call it a day. I'll upload the sessions onto YouTube as well. All right, let me know if you've got any other questions. If not, we can wrap up. I'm going to make myself a nice warm coffee and do some testing. All right, man. Look, it's awesome to have you all here, man. And I'll speak to you all in the chat. I think I've answered most questions in the chat. And just keep an eye out next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I will do like an hour session or something on live markets. I think that will be really useful. Let's just have a quick look. Remember Friday, we should all be exiting positions. We've also got, I think, Canadian news later this afternoon, which will affect gold. So it's probably time to look to exit those positions. And if you have to just take a loss, you'll make it back. V5 set. So with the set files, you can actually use the current set files. So it actually doesn't matter what version of the EA you have, you can actually still load those set files in. Unless you're referring to a new version of version 5. But regards to the set files, you can just load any version. So even if you're using version 4, you can just load those set files in